Welcome, everybody, to the Seattle Sports Union podcast. My name is Abraham DeWeese, back again with that odd duck, Matt Piage. This week, we got a very special guest, former Eastern Washington University Eagle and Oregon Duck quarterback and current BC Lions CFL quarterback. Our very special guest star, Vernon Adams. Welcome, Vernon.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being on the show. And a quick shout out to Brian Solack, who's on the board, so keeping this show going. And let's dive into it. Again, Vernon Adams, welcome to the show. I'm an Eagle, Matt's an Oregon Duck. It's great to have you here, and it's great to hear that you've actually moved back to the West Coast. You're now starting quarterback for the BC Lions. How's it being the captain of the good ship Red Blacks?
Yeah, like I said, thank you for having me, guys. I know we've been trying to get on and get this going, so go E's and go Ducks. It's good to have both of you guys here. But yeah, man, I played in Montreal. Started off my CFL career playing there pretty much 7 years of my career. Then got traded here to BC, Vancouver, BC here last August, and I'm still here. So it's been good. It's been awesome. Got voted captain this year.
Nice.
Very thankful and blessed for that. I don't know if you guys watched or whatever, but we had a game yesterday and it wasn't too pretty for myself. You know what I'm saying? Some things I really want to clean up and need to clean up, but we'll get better, learn from it, and keep going from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a learning experience. All you can do is go forward. Yeah, and I have to just real quick say this is a rarity. Abraham and I are both usually on the opposite side of pretty much everything, but we're 100% on the same side. Loving to watch you play. Big fans of you. I just wanted to ask, moving to the CFL from the NCAA, what was the biggest adjustment for you? I mean, with a bigger field, with one more defender on the field, what was the biggest adjustment?
Exactly like you said, man. It was a huge adjustment coming from playing 20 years of my life, American football, American rules, you know what I'm saying? You come to the CFL and it's still football, but you got to adjust to, like you said, the field is wider, it's longer, 20-yard end zones. You only get 3 downs. Yeah. So it's 1 and 2, and then you're punting if you don't get anything, So it's really crucial to get some yardage on first down. And then, like you said, the extra player as well is 12 on 12. So you have an extra DB out there roaming around that you have to take care of with your eyes as well.
Well, and getting on the same page with your wide receivers, one of the things I love to watch about CFL is the running starts that the wide receivers get. Is that an adjustment as well, getting the timing down?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something you really need to work on, because like you said, they get running starts. So they're going full speed by the time, they hit the line of scrimmage. So rather than like in the NFL, it probably takes 3-4 yards to get to real full speed, So it's definitely a timing thing, and it's something I really needed to work on. I remember when I was a rookie, first actually like 2-3 years, it was so hard, And the ball is a little bit wider too, so it's got that the full white line on both ends, so you can see when you throw a duck, but you can see when you throw a spiral as well. So yeah, it's a big adjustment, but I love the game up here.
Awesome. I noticed you in 2019, having taken over, I believe it was for Johnny Manziel, and that seems to be another thing that happened at BC. Didn't you just recently take the reins? Yeah, it seems like you always had to fight to get that starting job. What kind of things do you keep in mind? What do you advise for people that aren't always given the top slot?
Yeah, both those situations were a little different. This past year I took over, but they had a quarterback that was really good. He ended up going to the NFL, Nathan Rourke. And I got traded here because he broke his foot, and then he came back at the end of the season. I backed him up. He ended up going to Jacksonville Jaguars, and so now I'm here and I'm leading the way. But like you said, man, it's just you can't give up either way. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're third on the depth chart, practice squad, second, first, whatever, you just have to always prepare like you're the starter, carry yourself as a starter, and be humble. You got to be humble, be present, and just keep working. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's opportunity is the same. Some guys might get this much opportunity. Some guys might get this much. And at the end of the day, when it's your time, you have to take that opportunity. You can't look back. You just got to keep going.
Great. And we didn't have this on the outline, Matt. Sorry about it. I just got to ask anyway, because I'd forgotten until just now. You had a chance to work out with Russell Wilson, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. That's amazing.
Right. Well, it was more helping him out with. He had a camp in Spokane. He had a camp in Spokane, a kids camp, and I was able to just go out there. His like contacts reached out to Eastern Washington guys, and they needed some help, and so a few of us went out there, and I was able to watch him conduct himself as a pro, as a man of God. More importantly, you know what I'm saying. So it was just it was cool to be around him and see how he moves and everything, and yeah, so nothing big, but it was cool.
It's so funny, everybody bashing. Now I got to admit, sometimes we on this show, hurt feelings, spurned lovers getting on Russell's case last year. But we got one thing we got to remember: the guy never actually did anything wrong. Like there was never any bad. There were never any bad, stories in the paper about him kicking puppies or stealing Bibles or anything like that. And it's just so funny that how quickly we turn on. But he does stuff like that. And it doesn't always get advertised.
No, yeah, and I think you make a good point there, and I honestly think the fans or whoever treated him not as what he deserved. I mean, he took the team to what 9 straight years playoffs, something like that, and winning seasons and Super Bowls, went to a couple of Super Bowls, like like what? How can you?
What more can he do?
Yeah, what else do you want?
Exactly. I don't know the backstory of how he started to act off the field or anything, or demanding stuff. I don't know any of that stuff, but I just felt like he deserved better. But it's always two sides of a story, and you just gotta you gotta take it for what it is.
So moving on to Eastern. I saw you got offered from Portland State and Eastern, and thanks for choosing Eastern, by the way. That was the best choice. I'm curious, you didn't have any of the any FBS colleges? Like, Oregon should have been sniffing around, in my opinion, but no one contacting you, looking around?
Yeah, not really. UCLA offered a preferred walk-on. Family didn't have money for that, and then New Mexico State wanted to offer me as a corner. But my coach and my dad was saying no, he's not going to go and play corner. So that's that. So yeah, it was just Eastern Washington and Portland State.
You have one of the most prolific careers at Eastern ever. One thing that I keep bringing up to people: when you were there, you guys beat Wazoo, Oregon State, and you gave UW a heart attack. Those high profile games, being able to win those has not been replicated at Eastern, and may never. Do you ever go back and do you ever get a chance to infuse that past glory, or have they had you back for any past greats celebrations?
Yeah, sometimes before games I go watch my Eastern Washington highlights and those UW highlights and things like that, just to remind myself like I belong here. You know what I'm saying? I'm good enough. I can play where I'm at today, and I've proved it playing against UW when they had 4 first rounders on that team and on that defense, and you know what I'm saying, and just things like that. So I do go back and like to watch it sometimes and just hear just like the crowd and stuff and all that stuff. It just gives me like goosebumps sometimes, and it was just an awesome and fun time.
So 2013 was quite the banner year at Eastern. Absolutely insane numbers you put up and everything. And I wanted to ask you, what was it like going? They invited you for the Walter Payton Award ceremony. What was it like going through that process?
Yeah, 2013 was a great year, man. That was probably one of our best teams. Obviously, besides not going to the Natty, we came up a little short. But yeah, we beat Oregon State that year, 49-46. We went 8-0 in the Big Sky for the first time. And yeah, went to the Walter Payton Award that year. Came in second to Jimmy Garoppolo.
You got robbed.
Really?
Yeah, he had a great year as well at Eastern Illinois. And yeah, but it was cool. My coach and I flew out there Oh, we went out there in 2014, not 13. So yeah, I just because we were still in the playoffs and stuff. So, but yeah, it was cool just being honored and you know, coming up a little bit short, but it was awesome that the nation like recognized me and my team for our success.
Fantastic. I know that 2013 against Towson State, that was not a catch. They did not catch that ball in the end zone. I watched it on replay, and you guys got robbed. How did you get over that and come back with another strong season after that?
Yeah, man, that was that was tough because, like I said, that was the year we were supposed to go to the Natty again that year, and we lost on the last drive, and that was just tough. That one hurt for a few weeks, and then you got to get into the next year once January hits.
Yeah, looking at our
Okay.
notes, Abraham wants to ask you about all the heartbreaking losses. He's got the Lamo Bowl from 2015 or 2015 on here on our outline, and I think it's good. We're just not going to talk about that.
The Alamo Bowl, of course.
It's the Lamo Bowl. He misspelled it. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was bad too.
Yeah, so we talked. You mentioned earlier, you've come in and you've had to take over for some big names and establish your brand and really take the reins, and you've done incredibly well facing adversity. We coming into Oregon was the same situation. You came in short time. I remember you had something like a class you had to finish at Eastern before you could come to Oregon and qualify, and right away they handed you the reins and you took over for the Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota, who's Oregon legend. That must have been a good confidence boost for you. That they were that confident to hand it over to you immediately. How did that? How did you react to that? How did you handle that kind of pressure?
It was pressure is a privilege. That's what I've always been told. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can handle, what I'm saying, what some people go through. I probably can't handle what you guys go through, what you guys do every day, and other people can't handle the pressure of a quarterback. So a college D1 quarterback at a school like Oregon at that. But yeah, it was very humbling. What I'm saying? They called me once I got the permission to release from Eastern Washington, and they were talking to me. I'm like, Oregon, like, is this Eastern Oregon College? They're like, no, University of Oregon. I'm like, wow, because it's my dream school growing up, and so I had to go through that whole process. And like you said, I had to finish a class at Eastern first, which took me all the way into August 5th, and training camp started August 1st. So I missed the first week of training camp at Oregon, and then only had 3 weeks to prepare against the team that I've been at for the last 4 years. And so it was tough adjustment because I got to get the chemistry and the timing and the trust from the players and the coaches as well. And then I go out there and I play Eastern first game, and it's like I'm at practice because I've been playing against these guys forever. I'm like, wow, like this is great. Like I'm playing against Eastern right now. And unfortunately, I broke my index finger on my throwing hand in that game too. But yeah, we ended up getting over that a few weeks later and get going.
Vernon, I got a text from Matt Piage on my phone, and he said, tell your team to stop hurting my quarterback. So Matt latched on you pretty quick. And feel free, you don't have to answer this if you want, but was that hit intentional on you, or do these things just happen in a football game?
I don't think it was intentional. I think
I told you, Matt, it's not intentional.
Uh-huh.
Straight from the guy himself.
I heard, I heard he was celebrating after or something like that, and the fans and Bo Baldwin even didn't like that and sat him down. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just think it just happened so quick, and yeah.
Just part of the game, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I vividly remember that moment, and that text message, stop hurting my player, my quarterback. So there's one particular Oregon game that stands out in my mind, and it was week 6 at home. We're hosting Cal, and we went down Ducks went down 10-0 real fast. It just like, oh, suddenly, and the crowd kind of went quiet a little bit. And then it's like you went, okay, let's go to work. And I think you finished the game with like 770 or 710. It was 700 something total yardage. You wind up throwing 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, ran for another one on top. My question to you is how does that feel to get in that rhythm? How do you get into that rhythm like that? I mean, everything just seemed to just click all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's a team game, so it's like we're going to win together, we're going to lose together, but we all have to be on the same page regardless. And if we're not on the same page, the chemistry isn't there. It takes one guy to be not aligned right and not doing his assignment right. You know what I'm saying? And then everything is off. But when everybody does their thing together, and now it takes one guy on the defense to match. That's all it takes. And, and then it shows, and then it happens, So when we went down, it was all about just coming together. Hey, coming together and let's play our football, man. And don't panic. Don't start pointing fingers. Let's come together. Let's make plays for each other. Let's be who we are. You know what I'm saying? We're at Oregon for a reason. We're Division I athletes for a reason. That's it. I always say this to everybody, even to this day in my CFL locker rooms, is alignment and assignment. We do that, we're going to be okay.
Did you notice much of a difference between Bo Baldwin and at Oregon? You would have had Helfrich or
Helfrich.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you notice much of a difference in the way those teams were managed, or was it pretty smooth transition offensively for you?
Offensively, yes, it was kind of smooth, because football is football. You know what I'm saying? It's just terminology. All coaches just have different terminologies, but the concepts are the concepts. Like, it's just football. But Bo Baldwin, he was more of a player's coach and more hands-on and stuff like that. And then Helfrich was more business, not a player's coach, and just straight business. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and that's okay. That's everyone has their own ways.
Did you have Aaron Best pegged as the next Eagles head coach? I think he would have been your offensive coordinator at the time, right?
He was my offensive line coach.
Offensive line coach. Okay.
Yeah, Bo Baldwin was still my head coach / OC. I know Zach Hill, the quarterback coach, and Aaron Best were both they were trying to be OCs, in the spring, spring games, they were getting their opportunities to call plays and stuff like that. But, I didn't know, I didn't think, Best was going to be, not that I didn't think, but I didn't know he was going to be the next head coach, but I think he's the perfect guy, because he graduated from there. He's coached there for a long time. Who else, would be a good fit for that? And, he's had a pretty good couple seasons there. And, yeah, I'm excited to see what he does this year.
Fantastic. Matt, you're not going to talk about the Alamo Bowl, but I will. It was a pinnacle game. I mean, it was against TCU, I believe, and TCU was amassing an awesome team as well, right? And you guys had you put the pedal to the metal. You had them down. You had them down. And then this is where I tell people how great you are. I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. I'm going to embarrass you and I'm going to shame you at the same time. Everything fell apart once you were out of the game. And, Matt stopped responding to my texts at a certain point.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I really feel like all the air had been let out of the team, once you got injured. I was just curious, do you ever feel regret, or do you ever feel like, I would have done things a different way, or is this just a scenario of these things happen in sports?
Yeah, we were up 31-0 at the half, and right before half, and right before the half, I took a run, and I probably should have just slid, and I just kind of went head on with the defender, and just my neck just kind of jolted. So,
right.
I felt like I was okay. They did the concussion protocol, stuff like that, I was good, you know what I'm saying? But they just wanted to be safe, I guess, at that moment. And they took my helmet. I couldn't find my helmet or anything. One second. Oops, sorry. Getting a phone call from my wife. Sorry.
Never mind. So they really didn't want you back in the game. They're like,
Yeah,
taking your
yeah.
helmet.
They took my helmet, and so they're like, "Listen, just let's be smart about this. We're up 31-0. Like, we'll just finish this game." And wow, 3 overtimes later, and they came back and won. So that was definitely a tough one.
I mean, all credit to TCU. I mean,
Yeah,
they played a great
definitely.
game.
That was Boykins, right? The quarterback
Yes.
for TCU.
Yeah, but he actually didn't play that game either because he
That was
had
his
got
team.
in trouble. He got in trouble a
Yeah, that's right.
couple
He had the
a couple
DUI or
nights
something.
before or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I remember the hype for it was, the two best. They were like the two best offenses. The Big 12's best offense against the Pac-12's best offense, and you guys put a lot of numbers on the board, a lot of crooked numbers. That was,
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently Abraham never wants to have guests on our show again, as he became our guests and talk about their.
You got to talk about the tough stuff. You got to talk. You're going to talk about the good stuff. You got to.
There are quite hard questions, but we really don't need to talk about that, Alamo.
Yeah, we're the 60 minutes of sports. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll move on to I'm gonna move on to what might be a harder question, but is a bit easier. Although maybe we don't want to share the answer. Do you have an all-time favorite player you love tossing the ball to the best? I mean, anyone that you just really vibed with and were always on the same page and loved connecting with?
Man, I got so many. Man, it's I've been played with so many great players, man. Obviously, there's not just one, man, but there's a bunch. There's Brandon Kaufman from Eastern Washington. There's Cooper Kupp from Eastern Washington. There's Ashton Clark from Eastern Washington. He's a Portland native. Just guys off the top of my head. Braylon Addison from Oregon. Darren Carrington from Oregon. We were all on the same page up here. Geno Lewis, he's the highest paid receiver up here in the CFL. And then pretty much all my receivers up here in BC, man, these guys are dudes, man. A couple more in Montreal as well. Jake Winicky, just Quan Bray. It's a bunch of dudes, man. It's got a long list. I've thought about this before. And I'm like, man, these played with a bunch of great players, man. So yeah.
Do you find the game, the CFL game, to be ahead of the NFL? Like, it seems like the NFL grabs ideas from the CFL, offensively especially, and I'm noticing they're doing this for other leagues like the XFL and the USFL. They're just the NFL is straight up stealing ideas, different rules and different philosophies. Can you think of anything going on right now that you might see in the NFL game in the future?
In the future, yeah.
From the CFL?
Yeah.
I don't really know, man. But I know, like, all these leagues feed off each other. They all want to be better. You know what I'm saying? Especially for the health of the players. So they're always going to look at different things. Just like the NFL took off the full speed kickoff, 10 yards back on a kickoff. So, just different things, so they could, but I definitely don't see them picking up the waggle 3 downs or 12 players or anything like that, so, but I think one thing is cool is our punt return rule, you have to have a 5-yard halo. So there's never a fair catch. So they have to catch and run, but you have to give the returner a 5-yard halo. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be cool, where you can always see a punt return on special teams and not just see fair catches and stuff.
Right on. I like kick returns and I like punt returns. I don't know why they're trying to legislate that out of the NFL.
Well, I'd love to see the motion, the additional motion. Like I said, the wide receivers with a running start. It's so fun to watch. It adds another dimension of speed to the game.
We're running up towards the end of the show, but I just wanted to bring up one thing because I know in 2019 you had, I wrote the note here, 12 rushing touchdowns. You're still a mobile quarterback. Have you had to change your game? I just think about, again, we talk about Russell Wilson. His game is starting to have to change as he gets a little bit older. How about you?
Oh yeah, definitely. As you get older, man, the game, for us running quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks, it's got to change a bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's why, you know, Tom Brady's able to play to 45 because, you know, he's not putting so much wear and tear on his knees or whatever, you know. So it changes a bit, you know, but you still want to keep that aspect of your game alive, you know what I'm saying? Just to keep defenses honest, you know. So it's always good to run for a first down once a quarter or something like that, just to keep them honest and not just dropping back and just whatever, you know, or thinking they could play 2-man against us or anything like that. And so, yeah.
Are you playing until you're 45?
No, I am not.
Okay. It was,
well, yeah,
then
well, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask if it's because a certain lady was just calling you a couple minutes ago, if that's the reason why, or is it time for family life?
She might have something to say about it.
You know, it's days off, got a couple of days off, you know, so got to check in with the family and stuff. So, but yeah.
My last, I just want to do one last question here before we close out the show. What do you see yourself doing in 20 years? Do you see yourself moving into coaching, or, you know, what you had, well, I don't know what you majored in back at Eastern.
Yeah, definitely coaching. Sorry. Yeah, I want to coach, you know. I love this game, you know, a lot, you know. It's done a lot for me, and I have a lot of knowledge to give back to some the younger generation. So I would definitely want to coach and, yeah, go from there.
All right.
Great. Like Matt said, we're running out of time here, but Vernon Adams, where can people find you on social media and on air?
Yeah, on Instagram, bigplay_VA. I think my Twitter is just Vernon Adams Jr. 8, I believe. I'm trying to get off the social medias right now, you know what I'm saying? Lock in season and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And then, of course, they can see you as starting quarterback for the BC Lions.
Yep, and playing in BC, and we end in November, so we're on our 5th game. We play Montreal this year. We're this week where I just played for 7 years, you know. So they're coming over here, and we play them this week on Sunday. So check us out on Sunday. I believe it's a 4:00 game. Yeah.
Fantastic. We always like to end the show on a positive note. We call them shout outs. So feel free to name a person, a place, or thing, or something that you're grateful for. We'll go ahead and get it started, Matt.
I just wanted to give a shout out to the man on the boards, Soulman Solack, for continuing to get us some amazing guests. He's always got the feelers out and always finding us some of our favorite people, and we get a chance to have great, wonderful conversations like this.
Fantastic. And I'm going to give a shout out to my dad, who's making a great recovery after an incident in May, and he will be moving back into his apartment. And I'm excited for that. That means I can go down and visit him in Fresno.
Awesome.
Vernon, do you have a shout out for us?
I just want to say shout out to God, man, for just blessing me, you know, with the talents he's blessed me with, the journey he's blessed me with. Shout out to my family, my kids, my wife, my parents, my sisters, my grandparents. And shout out to everybody, man. All my supporters. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, God is good. God bless. Go Lions. And Eags and Ducks.
Awesome. Thank you again for joining us yet again on the Seattle Sports Union. Keep in touch with us on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter at Seattle Sports U. As well, check out our newly redesigned website, seattlesportsunion.com. Keep listening to our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Captivate FM, and now on North Beach Community TV, Saturdays 11 morning on Channel 68 on the coast. Once again, we thank our very special guest star, Vernon Adams. On behalf of myself, that odd duck, Matt Piage, Brian the Soulman Solack, we'll see you guys next time.